Ben ritrovati giovedì mattina su floor del New York Stock Exchange. Da questo momento indici vicinissimi alla parità, ancora tantissimi risultati trimestrali in arrivo questa settimana, ma ne parliamo con il mio ospite qui su floor che è Derek Orth, che è Designated Market Maker per Brandon E. Cryan and Company. Derek, thank you so much for being with us again.
Thanks for having me again.
So Derek, I was saying that it's a very busy week. Earnings, of course, at the center of the attention here in Wall Street. Well, not only, even in Europe, we are having a lot of earnings this week. So we have been trying, at least the S&P 500 has been trying to reach 1700. Tried a couple of times already this week to reach that level. Is it out of reach?
Right now, well, it's not out of reach, but we're kind of looking at certain support levels for back testing here. I was looking this morning at around 1678 was the number I was looking at. We got to 1680 for the first half hour trading, and then we rallied back up, hammered back up to around here unchanged to slightly down small at 1685. So I'm looking here for some direction. Transportation averages too, starting on Monday. It was a really tight range in it. It was trading at an all-time high, kind of closed slightly lower, and then 2 days in a row after that, Tuesday and Wednesday, we had some big pullbacks in the transports. That got down today to about 6,400, which I was looking around 63.95 area range, kind of to see if we could have an intermediate hold and bounce, and we did. Once when the transports got to that number, and the SPX got to that 1678 number, the market kind of stabilized and rallied. The transports popped a little bit. And trying to find some stability there. Upside going forward, obviously we got earnings season here still, and you know I'm looking at right now in the SPX around 1690, 1692 as an area of maybe intermediate resistance. I want to see if earnings come out good enough, strong enough, some economic data maybe comes out that suggests that tampering might not be coming. Keep pushing the market going forward, and also to expand on that. I'm also watching the 10-year yield. It seems like now that the yield has spiked over the last couple of days and bonds sold off of that. It got to the 2 5/8 level or maybe 2.62. And now maybe technically we're looking at, as some traders are looking at that range, is maybe a bottom support in bond prices and a top resistance level in yields. And if they can kind of see that going forward, and that's going to be a trading range in bonds and yields, that might have a positive effect on other assets such as stocks, where if the yields don't go up too high, that's going to keep the stock rally going. So I mean, I'm kind of looking at that level too. So there's a lot of...
Well, the rally is still on then, yeah. Derek, even though we are trying, as you were saying, to stabilize. So there is still a lot of cautious investors here in Wall Street. A lot of people don't really believe that this rally can really carry on. I mean, even Europe, we were talking about this before this interview, Wall Street is going one direction and maybe Europe is not really following that strong.
And I think that's part of the cause of concern for the rally as well, like you said, is that basically we had the S&P 500 and the Dow from the June 24th lows, or intermediate lows basically on those days. When we started rallying here, we made all-time highs again in those indices. Meanwhile, Europe, various indices in Europe, whether it's the DAX or the CAC, or if you go to Asia, the Hang Seng, we bottomed on that day too and rallied, but we only got halfway up. We never really made all-time highs in those indices. So there's kind of like a signal saying, well, over here in the States we're okay, but the rest of the world's not really following through yet. So that's why I'm looking at that area in the SPX around 1690, 1692 is, all right, I want to see us break through that, and I also want to see some follow through from the other sectors around the world. And again, earnings season, maybe this will be the catalyst that'll help, and everyone's kind of watching our markets, obviously. And if we can push up and get through these higher levels, then maybe that'll drag up everything else. And but again, like you said, the trend is still in place. SPX, that trend channel we're right in the middle of that channel line in those zones. Basically, the bottom of the channel is a little bit underneath us. The top of the channel is around 1700 and change. So we're right smack in the middle of that. And again, we got to see what the next catalyst comes out from here.
Well, talking about catalysts and talking about the earnings, last week we can say that banks really helped the indexes. We had really stellar earnings. This week it seems to be the week for technology. We had obviously the effect of Apple yesterday on technology and on NASDAQ, and today Facebook had a boom at the opening with 27% up compared to the last level. So I know that you follow the SOX. What are the expectations for technologies and for semiconductors in particular?
Well, and the SOX, we're looking at, again, a throwback down to that 475 range, which I think we're actually at right now. We kind of broke through that, went up to the 491, 492 level. I want to see it break out a little higher, but I'm happy to see the price action, the stabilization in the stocks at around the 475 range, because that was that zone that we had to break above. And it's almost like a few weeks back when we were talking about when the S&P 500 got down to that range of 1560, 1575, and we were saying as it was channeling up, and we threw down to that level, and we said, why can't it retest that zone? Well, once that's how it goes in technical when you're using technical analysis. You break through a certain resistance spot in the chart, you kind of rally above it, and then all of a sudden you're going to have the retest. You want to see if that resistance becomes support. That's what we call a change of polarity. What was resistance becomes support on the upside move. Vice versa, when you're in a bear market, what was support eventually gets retested as resistance. So you're kind of watching these levels. Right now in the SOX, 475 is important for me. I want to see if we hold there. Earnings have been okay in some of the, so we're kind of holding these levels, and I think that's positive. And I'm not, not going bearish yet, until I see something technically break down, which I haven't seen yet. I am concerned about the other indices around the world, though, not following through. But you know what? Here, let's get the, if we get follow through here in the S&P 500, more confirmation.
Follow through, though. I mean, even if we reach 1700, say maybe this week, between today and tomorrow, even though it doesn't seem that it's going to happen. But if it happens, you want the S&P 500 to stay a little bit long above 1700 before celebrating, of course.
Yeah, I do. I want to see confirmation again, use some, measurements such as oscillators, or whether it's RSI or MACD, whoever's comfortable with, just to confirm the price on the upside. Are we confirming it? Are we confirming the breakout to new highs? Is RSI telling me, that's what I use, is RSI telling me that this momentum is here, it's strong, or is it getting weak? These are the clues I'm going to look for when we do if we do break through those levels. And if I'm seeing some strength there, okay, or even if it's relatively equal, the RSI prior to the higher, we can have some momentum there. I want to see that momentum confirm the price. If we get it, then I'll be in the bullish camp still. If I start seeing some divergence, negative bearish divergence, being that we have a lower high point in RSI but a higher high point in price, I'm going to start being cautious, and then we're going to look at those channel lines and see what we can take from there.
We'll see. We're not there yet, so maybe next week. Thank you very much, Derek, for being with us.
Thank you very much.
E grazie a voi per l'attenzione. A domani.